We have like frigid
Actually,
weather. We could freeze to death if we got lost.
Mm-hmm.
you know what? This actually can relate to the question. To another question. So, Sandy, let's just say we did match, and just say you were the one, right? And we went on a date. It was
Wishful
beautiful and perfect
thinking.
because I would try, but let's just say because obviously you were going back because of what happened with COVID, you would
Yeah.
more than likely have to go back to Canada, right?
Hmm.
Would you be open to a long distance relationship?
Oh, that's a good segue, actually. No.
Oh,
I'm
Mm-mm.
like shaking my head no.
No, they don't work. They don't work.
Hey Sandy, I
okay.
gotta I gotta stop you when you say it don't work because me personally, Chelsea lives on the other. She lived on the other side of the country. So like,
Mm-hmm.
say I don't know where Toronto is, but is that east or west? East,
East.
East.
east. So Chelsea lived on the west side of Canada, and I lived on the east, Sydney and Perth. So it's the
Mm-hmm.
opposite ends, and we met in
That's pretty much
Philippines.
another country.
Yeah.
Basically, 4 or 5 hour
Yeah.
drive. Their time zone is matched with
Drive.
Philippines.
It's a 4 hour flight.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
like what?
flight. My bad, my
Yeah.
bad, my bad. Shit, no wonder why you guys didn't match. Shit, No. Yeah, 5 hour flight, 4 or 5 hour flight, and we met in Philippines, but we've known each other for like 5 years or so,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing long distance after the Philippines, and then like we were flying back and forth every weekend for like 5 6 months until someone had to make
Yeah.
the decision to someone had to make a decision who's going to change like not change, who's going to move out, like who's going to move over. And Chelsea made the decision, left her parents, she's the only child as well, and her friends and everyone back home, and she moved over to Sydney. Not just I'm get yeah, like obviously me, but like all the other opportunities out here. But like, yeah, it does work if one person or like someone, people have to sacrifice for it to work. um and I'm very grateful Chelsea was the one that did that for me. But yeah, I think it works. And yeah,
How long did
What
you
about
guys
you,
do long
Eliza?
distance for?
we would so like we met in December, January of 2018, and for about up until July, she moved here in July, but we were going back I don't know, everyone who, our friends that know us and our family, like every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, we'd be flying. I'd be going to Perth. She'd be flying to Sydney. I'll be flying to
Mm-hmm.
Perth. We were just doing that for a while, plus all the FaceTime and all the bullshit that, like missing each other and that. But then, yeah, like one person has to sacrifice and had to move. So it did work. Oh,
Yeah.
Do you
it's working
think
right now.
though? Do you think though, if you had started off together, and then one had to move for school, for work, and then you were separate and had to do long distance, do you think it would have worked for 6 months? Do you think you guys would have survived it?
I
It's
think we would
different,
have.
right? Like,
Yeah,
you guys weren't used to being in the same, like,
That was
if you
normal.
started off together in the same place and then
yeah,
had to separate, I think that's harder to do
yeah,
than when you started as a relationship separated from each other, where
for
you're not
sure,
used to being with each other as much, and now
for
you're
sure,
together. That's great. I'm happy for you that you guys are
for
able to do
sure.
that. I just think it's a lot harder to start off together
Together
and
and
then
then
do a long distance relationship afterwards.
for sure, I definitely agree with you that because like you guys, like when you guys start together, you already know the feel of being together
Mhm.
in person, the
Yeah.
physical feel, and just doing the different things plus memories and everything else that comes along with it.
Mhm.
And then if someone had to move for 6 months, it would be hard. I know a lot of people that have had to do that. Someone's had to move, went and moved overseas, and then it was just hard for that relationship.
Yeah,
But
because in your case, I don't know how much the flights are from Sydney to
about
Perth.
450 Australian, so I don't know what that is in
Okay.
Canadian.
Yeah, it's pretty equivalent.
Yeah.
And that's probably about the same price as it would be from like Toronto to Vancouver or from
Mm,
Winnipeg to Toronto,
yeah.
unless you get like a cheap seat.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if you're in the same
Expensive.
country, it is expensive. And if you're
Yeah.
in the same country, it's doable
Yeah.
because it's a
But if
4 hour
you're
flight.
not in the same country,
But if you're not in the same country too, if someone like for me, right? I got a visa and moved to the other side of the world. A long distance relationship in that case, mm-mm.
Mm,
How you're different time zones. You're
Mhm.
there's It's so difficult to see each other. It's a 15-hour flight at least,
yeah.
right? $1,200
Yeah,
round trip.
it would be hard.
So those I think
Especially
are
Canada
hard,
to
but
Australia would be hard.
yeah, yeah. And like I
I'm
mean,
not,
open relationship long distance relationships, if there's a plan, like if there's a plan for someone to move and make that sacrifice, I think that's easier for you to handle, right? To be like, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel where we have a goal to be together at the end of the day.
Mm,
But if there's nothing, like if no one can
for
agree on
sure.
who's going to do that, mm,
Master, I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just room